If you break a battery cable and you don't want to, or you can't get a whole new cable, but you do need your vehicle, you should consider something that's temporary, or it could be permanent. Battery cable splice repair. My neighbor is mowing the yard. They're great people, I'm glad, so just forgive the noise. Basically, you cut both of these wires, you stick the ends into there, tighten it down, pull that black cover down over it. You can do some taping if you want, but while I was doing the repair on my brake module, that cable end snapped right off. So let's fix it. Well, seeing where it is, I'm not going to be able to do too much work here, so I'm going to loosen and remove the hose, nozzle, whatever. I don't want to take all this off. Just take this end off and move it up out of the way so I can get to this. I loosened both ends of that hose, and look how much room I got now. Till I can figure out where that battery end goes. I have disconnected both cables, so there is no power from the battery to my car. So I'm going to cut the ends of this and start the splice, the repair. So I'm going to need two hands, sorry. I have to put this down. So you cut the ends off and separate the two wires, remove any tape, any glue. So now you take off about 3/4 of an inch of the end of the wire here, just the cover. Notice I don't see any corrosion, so I don't have to worry about that, but you're going to have to make sure you cut past the corrosion if you do have any. So now I'm going to cut off the plastic outside. The idea is to get your cables looking like that on the end. And if it's a little longer than 3/4, I'm going to be taping it, but there is also a sliding cover that's going to go over that connection. I'm going to make it weather tight and keep the corrosion down. You can do your negative or your positive cable. Auxiliary wire if you need to. It comes with a wrench. So these covers, they slide up or down at the appropriate time. And there is the end of the cable. You put the new end that you just exposed in there and use a screwdriver or the tool to tighten that down. It gives you about an extra 7 inches or so of cable. Might even make it easier to connect it from, from that time on. So as I said, you take those cables that you strip down and you put them in the bottom as I showed you. Then you need to torque these down pretty good so you have good pressure on there so they don't vibrate loose and cables come out. This black cover will slide down over the joint. Then you can use some electrical tape to just wrap that up. If you had an auxiliary wire, you could connect it to that, but since I just have the two, that's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but this is what I'm doing, and this is how I did it. I'm not endorsed by them. And it works on several vehicles. Just remember that it is going to be the positive. It's going to be easy to see that your one wire is still black. Now this is black with the cover, but If there's a wire on the black terminal already, you're going to assume that one's the negative. At least you should. No ugga-duggas on this one either. Just make sure it's tight. Now you don't have to, but that's what I did, just so no one has a question about what cable that is. So that's what I'm going to do. And once you connect things, I put the air hose back where it goes. Get ready to tighten that. When I connected the batteries, I looked for any smoke or sparks from anything else. So I'm getting ready to, like I said, tighten this stuff down. And just by opening the door, I'll know if we have juice or not. But it'll also help me find out about the other thing I was working on. Check out my other video on the ABS module.